Hey, what's up? I'm assuming that most people that watch my videos have heard of Neville Goddard. And if you haven't, man, you can thank me later because he has some absolutely amazing information. Uh, my wife turned me on to him I don't even remember. But I remember when I heard her listening to him, and it sounded really religious. I'm not religious. My wife isn't religious, and I've actually, I didn't really go to church when I was a kid, and I've never read the Old Testament or the New Testament. I mean, I've read parts of it. Um, you know what I read? I've read the Red Letter Bible. That's a Bible that everything that Jesus said is in red letters. So I have read every single thing that Jesus has said. And for some reason, like that was all I was really interested in, at the time. But, and I'm familiar with, many parables, in the Bible. But, sometimes you hear those parables and you're just like, I don't know what that means. Like, we bring to these parables our own level of consciousness. And so we're all going to get different things from it. And most people, unfortunately, probably take their preacher's, word on, what these parables mean. But I'll tell you what, man, Neville Goddard's interpretation of the scripture, as soon as you hear it, it resonates. It's like you just bumped into the truth. Like, how you can feel when something really resonates with you. That's what he did for me. I mean, like when I would listen to him talk about the scriptures, everything made perfect sense. It was like a new light was being shined on the meaning of these parables that had been elusive to me up until then. So when I did discover Neville for myself and I started, watching his videos, which I highly recommend, I came across this one video and it was this kid and he was talking to his grandpa and his grandpa knew Neville Goddard and he had went to see, Neville had actually sent him a book and signed the book. And so this guy's telling the story of when he first met Neville Goddard. And I just fell in love with this old man and with Neville Goddard just because, I don't know. So the story goes like this. So this young kid's asking his grandpa about Neville Goddard. He said, yeah, man. He goes, I had this girlfriend for 3 years and, we'd broken up and she called me on the phone. She's like, hey, you have to go talk to this guy. You have to go see this guy's presentation. It's Sunday. You have to go. And he's, after some convincing, he finally goes, I'm going to go. But he says, I kind of only went just to prove that this guy was a scam artist. You know what I mean? Like because everybody he had met was a scam artist up until then. So, he didn't have high hopes. So he goes to this presentation by Neville, and right at the beginning, Neville says, the plate will not be passed around today. He says, the plate will never be passed around. You are to never give me any money. I'm going to teach you how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And if I'm asking you for money, then I don't know what I'm talking about. He says, I know how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I don't need your money. I do this because I enjoy to do it. And the guy's like, shit, how's he going to get around this? How's he going to get around this? So Neville gives them an assignment. And he says, I want everybody to do this assignment. Next Sunday, I'm going to do another presentation, but it's going to be in the back of the room. And this is only for the people that climb the ladder. And everybody's like, what? What's he talking about? He goes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to climb a ladder. And he says, when you go to bed, I want you to, if you lay on your back, I want you to lay on your stomach. If you sleep on your right side, I want you to sleep on your left side. I want you to do something. I want you to sleep in a way that you've never slept before, or not your normal way. And he says, When you lay down and you get ready to go to sleep, I want you to imagine this ladder in front of you. Okay, I want you to imagine, what it's made of, every ring on that ladder, every step on that ladder. And he goes, I want you to take your imaginary left hand. He goes, I want you to grab that ladder. He goes, I want you to take your imaginary right foot and I want you to place it on that ladder. And I want you to go step by step, hand by hand, and imagine yourself climbing up this imaginary ladder. And when you get up to the top, I want you to start climbing down. And when you get to the bottom, I want you to climb up and down this ladder until you go to sleep. I want you to do it for 3 days. Then he says, now you have to do this. If you don't do this, none of the things I'm telling you are going to work. This is how you're going to prove that I'm full of shit. He said, I want you to, every place you see, in your wallet, when you get up in the morning in your mirror in your bathroom, I want you to put it on the refrigerator. I want you to put it everywhere. I want you to write out, I will not climb that ladder. And every time you see it, I want you to say it out loud. I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. I want you to put it everywhere so you are bombarded with, I will not climb a fucking ladder all over your house. Okay? So this is what he does. So he writes notes everywhere and he puts, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And so then he, goes to bed and he, lays in a different way and, starts imagining the ladder, starts imagining these imaginary hands, and he's climbing the ladder. Climbs up, climbs down, climbs up, climbs down until he goes to sleep. He does this for 3 days. So after the 3 days, he's continued to see these notes everywhere. I will not climb that ladder. I will. He's basically trying to prove that Neville Goddard is a scam artist. And that I'm not going to climb that fucking ladder, man. So Saturday, his mom called him and she says, hey man, I really need your help and I'd like to see you. So can you come over? So, he doesn't have a car. So he gets a bus ticket and gets on the bus and goes over to see his mom. So as he's getting ready to, walk in, he sees his dad and his dad's on the roof. He's like, hey man, what's going on? He goes, can you do me a favor? Can you hand me that bucket of paint? So, he leans down and he about shits his pants. When he's halfway up the ladder to take this paint to his dad, he's like, I'm climbing a fucking ladder. Oh my God, I've said I will not climb this ladder over and over every day, and now I'm climbing a ladder. Okay, so Sunday he has to show up because he's one of those people that climb the ladder. So Neville says, sees him, says, so you climbed a ladder. And he says, what I want to tell you now is you could have made $1 million as easy as it was to climb that ladder. And I just dude, so what he's saying is, we have a lot of people and they're always talking about, like Joe Dispenza, who's in someone else, Tony Robbins. There's all kinds of people that, wonderful teachers, wonderful mentors. I love both those guys. And they talk about the importance of when you wake up and before you jump out of bed and before you grab your phone, to plan out your day. To plan out this day where magic unfolds, where good things are happening in your life. You pre-plan out your day. Everybody should do that. That's common sense. That everybody should do that. Why we don't do that, I don't understand, but we should do that. But what Neville Goddard is saying is, no, man. Yeah, that's important, but it's how you go to bed, preparing for sleep. That is even more important. You're living your life based on how you're going to sleep. And so he said, if you really understand what I'm talking about, you will never go to sleep upset. You'll never go to sleep stressed out. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you're getting ready to unplug from the consciousness and to go and to meet your oversoul, to meet your true self, and to meet whatever work you're doing that night. And you do something every night. Don't think that your consciousness just unplugs and just waits for you to wake up. Your consciousness is doing things. It's working. And I don't know, I mean, and you know what blows my mind is I know for a fact this works. I do, man. I know the power of imagination. I used to be a golf professional and I never hit a golf shot ever. You know, I mean, obviously when I was young and didn't understand it yet, but I always imagined the shot first. I would imagine everything. I would imagine how the wind's affecting it. I would hear the sound of my club hitting the ball. I would hear the divot being ripped out of the ground. I would imagine everything. And then after I imagined it, I would get out of my own way and I would allow myself just to reproduce what I just imagined. Your imagination in this world is crucial. In fact, you could even say it's everything, man. Like, it's so important. So, you know, one of the questions is why don't we pre-plan our day? And why don't I, knowing this, why don't I do this? In fact, I'm going to start doing this again. I only did it once, and I picked this really crazy reason. I picked a celebrity, and I envisioned them stumbling across one of my videos and feeling drawn to this frequency and flying me out. And it was really weird. I mean, it was like such a weird thing to choose. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know why I would choose that. The time before you go to sleep, as you enter sleep, as your consciousness leaves your body and goes to do other things, that is so important. It's actually probably more important than when you wake up and you come back into your body and then you plan your day. I mean, they're probably both equally important, but I think that story and what Neville talks about, you know, just watch his videos. They're truly amazing. And this old man, like at the end, he said something that just like, I think it was so perfect. And what he says is he's talking about how content he is with his life and just how everything, like, he's just full of joy. And so he doesn't attempt to manifest anything else. And the reason he doesn't attempt to manifest anything else is because when you manifest something, okay, and this is for the people that think this positive thinking and this law of attraction and this manifestation is just cuckoo bullshit. This is the piece they're missing. When you're manifesting something, when you're imagining something, you're just putting yourself in the state of being to receive the inspiration, to receive the ideas. You still have to go through the process to make it happen. Like, you can't, if you say, oh, I'm so thankful for $1 million. Oh my God, I'm so thankful. And you're imagining yourself spending the money and you're doing that. Dude, that doesn't mean you're going to get a check for $1 million. What it means is you're going to be at the right frequency for the idea, for the inspiration that will lead to that. You still have to go through the steps. But, you know, I will actually take that one step further. And you also have to entertain the idea that maybe somebody will just send you $1 million. The chance of that way being the way that it's going to play out are very slim, but it will never happen if it's not a possibility. So I think you should have all possibilities. But if you're going to start talking about manifesting a certain beautiful life and this certain whatever you're into, dude, you're going to have to make it happen. But you will receive that inspiration. You will receive those ideas, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun because it's your passion. So anyway, I think I covered everything I want to say. Dude, Neville Goddard, check it out. Especially if you were raised in a religious family and then you've kind of slid away from that crazy shit because of the baggage with it. Man, I think you will love Neville Goddard and his interpretation of the scripture. It just shines a completely new light on things that you've heard hundreds and hundreds of times. And all of a sudden you see it in a completely different light. And it's really good stuff. Okay, man, I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing day.
It's getting kind of crazy up in here. Got that DJ playing music everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kind of crazy up in here. Everybody wants to ride in the water.